Bert, let's jump right into the most impressive in week 3 of the NFL. Listen, Miami's the easy one.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yes.
So I didn't choose Miami because I just felt like that was too easy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, nah, like okay, so the thing about Miami is when I watched that game, it reminded me of old school Oregon with Chip Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Remember when Chip Kelly and Oregon used to I remember they went to up to Ann Arbor in Michigan and like put up like 60 something on them.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like so it reminded me a lot like that. So my most impressive is the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
Man, these guys were not supposed to be good. Joshua Dobbs, what I just found out, is a NASA scientist. That's what he was doing before. He's a part-time, hold on. Before he got the call to come to Arizona, he was working at NASA as some sort of scientist. He's a part-time NFL player.
Oh my God. Is he the smartest NFL quarterback since Ryan Fitzpatrick?
He might be smarter. I mean, we don't have any evidence that Ryan Fitzpatrick is smart other than he went to Harvard. And
that's it. That's our bar.
I mean, you got to do something a little bit more impressive than go to Harvard nowadays. NASA scientist. Yeah. I mean, that sets the bar pretty high for smart NFL players. I had no idea. It took me forever to realize. I thought it was Ryan Shazier. Every time they showed his picture, I was like, "Who is that?" They have the same like alopecia or whatever it is, where they don't have any facial hair, don't have any hair, and so I was always thrown off by that. And I was like, "Why is Ryan Shazier playing in Arizona?" I thought he was paralyzed. But yeah, no, Josh Dobbs. I mean, people thought the Cardinals were going to be pushovers. Bert, they thought they were tanking for Caleb Williams. They were like, "Nope." You know, Kyler Murray's sitting out for whatever injury he got, and they thought it was over for the boy. And Josh Dobbs said, not today, sir, and beat what many people were calling the best team in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. And not only did they beat them, they kicked them out the club, Bert. Okay? No white T-shirts, no Timberland boots. Get out of here. Okay? They were playing no games with them. I was impressed with what was supposed to be the best defense in the league that people were saying. Micah Parsons talking all types of crazy shit online, talking about he's looking for new prey and blah, blah, blah. And Josh Dobbs and James Conner and whoever the receivers are. Hey, $20 to who can tell me who's a receiver on the Arizona Cardinals. Don't Google it because I couldn't tell you. And so here we are, week 3. The Cards are what, 2-1, 1-2, something like that.
1-2,
1-2. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. Oh yeah, because the Giants had that magnificent.
The Giants came back. Yeah,
I shouldn't say the Giants. Daniel Jones did.
Yeah,
I don't like this yo-yo game we're playing with Daniel Jones. Like he's not allowed to have bad games. When we just saw the most amazing game we've ever seen that nobody else has ever done, but people want to shit on Daniel Jones still. Anyway.
And then to go around and have a short week after that, and of course, losing to San Fran on Thursday night, but still, it's just.
And that's the thing. You didn't lose to the Carolina Panthers. You lost to the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh yeah, no. I'll take that. Well, I mean, you got to remember, Game 1 for the Giants was that beatdown from the Cowboys. Game 2, that was 3 quarters of Arizona football. And the Giants did absolutely nothing. And it was, we'll say the latter part of the third quarter into the fourth quarters when the Giants eventually woke up and was like, oh, I guess we can play football now. But I also had the Cards as the most impressive this week too. Here's the thing. It wasn't overtly a dominating game. Like when you look at the stats themselves, I think around 100 rushing on the ground. Dobbs had maybe 200 passing. So like nothing major, but overall, the way they controlled and pacing and everything, it was just a work of art and a lackluster effort on Dallas's part. I mean, there was one turnover from them, but overall it seemed like they didn't have anything together. There was no play. I think it was typical Mike McCarthy under preparation for a bad team. But yeah, the Cardinals, that was incredibly impressive through and through.
So super efficient, especially what I'm seeing here on third down. And that was really it. Like Dak Prescott spread the ball around and most of it was Hollywood Brown talking ball. Shout out to y'all. Hollywood Brown, and he said, don't ask me another. Yeah, Hollywood Brown did his thing. James Conner, I saw a lot of him. And to me, this was more of Dallas. This is why you don't overlook an opponent. Dallas overlooked Arizona. They said, oh, this is an easy dub. Don't worry about it. They ain't got nobody. And you can't overlook an opponent. The Cardinals have nothing to lose. They're out there playing. They know what people are saying about them. And so they're playing with free money. And when you sleep on an opponent and you get caught lacking like Dallas did, it's hard to get momentum back. Once you get it, you usually keep it. And Dallas just never, you get wobbled, right? It's like in boxing, when you fight somebody you think you should beat and they hit you with that one good hit, and now you're scrambling trying to recover and you never do. And this is what happened, based on what I watched, to Dallas. So yeah, watching Dallas lose in a manner that they did, and it wasn't like a Chargers Vikings situation, right? This was like Arizona kicked their ass, man. Like, what I mean? They dominated all facets of the game. I couldn't tell you one thing that Dallas did well. And so shout out to Arizona. I know people kind of wrote you off, but Arizona's not that bad. Like, even the Giants, even the game they lost, like, they played well.
Yeah. I just, when you all pulled Bucket of Doom last week, and I don't know who I pulled first initially, and I was like, no way, throw that back.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you, but I must have been repulsed by it to be like, absolutely not. And then to pull Arizona second, I was like, son of a bitch. Here we go. And then I think it was like mid realization in the third quarter, watching Arizona winning, I was like, wow, this is impressive. Then I was like, wait a minute, I had them in the bucket. This is even better. It's like, yes, they're beating Dallas. Win for a Giant fan. Have them in the bucket of doom. It was a triple win day,
Yeah. Hell yeah. Who did you have first?
And I'm going back to the text now to see who it was.
You had a good matchup, because I was like, man, because you were the only person that I felt like I was shocked that you threw yours back. I was like, wow, he really threw it back.
Okay,
so
everybody, my first
out of everybody,
the Browns. That's what it was against the Titans, and I was like, I can't roll with that. I needed something more secure, and knowing if I kept the Browns, it would have been a win. But man,
and shame on me for skipping the bucket of doom. So no, we both had the same most impressive. I mean, there was a lot of good impressive.
I mean, look, the like you mentioned, the Dolphins are the obvious, right? Man, I don't know. I don't want to put Denver in the biggest disappointment category, but because I think the underlying theme of this season will be biggest disappointment. We can get into that in a little bit too, and we give some life advice to certain people, but the Dolphins, they just went absolute beast mode in the air, on the ground. Tua's looking sharper than ever. He was perfect through the first half. I think it was like 16 for 16 or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, other than that, impressive wins. Honestly, everything looked to par. I mean, the Colts, I thought that was impressive over the Ravens. Packers looking good too.
So that was a most impressive I had, instead of the Dolphins, to come down from 18-0, score 17 points in the fourth quarter. Jordan Love, I'm not going to say that the Packers did it again. I'm not going to say he's the next Aaron Rodgers.
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
But it looked good. It was something that if you were a Packers fan, you could look, this is a game you could say, okay, here we go. Like, there may be something here. So, like, if you were a Packers fan who was on the fence about this guy, then a game like that or a performance like that would be something that I would be very happy about as a Packers fan. So before we get to biggest disappointment, Bert, let's go ahead and do the bucket of doom, because I forgot, and we got to let her. Carl goes to bed early.
He does.
We got to make sure
after a glass of warm milk.
That's a warm milk. So I took the L. I kept the Bucks. I was on the Bake Show. I thought the Buccaneers were going to do it versus the Eagles. So I am 1-2. Ty is now 2-1 because he had the Ravens. They took an L. Everybody else, and Mike took the L because he went head to head with you.
Yep.
So he's 1-2. Carl's 1-2. He's off the schneid. He got a dub now. Bengals with that last minute victory. Cardinals, we just talked about them. So you are now 2-1. And you and Corey, the only 2-1 teams, because Corey had the Bills. So all right. There you go. Bert's up first. The Denver Broncos, bud.
Nope.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw them back right now.
Yeah, I don't even know who they're playing, but they're playing
matter.
the Bears. I still don't trust them against the Bears.
Yeah. That's a Monday night game. NFL.
No,
flex
it's a
that
Sunday.
game.
Am I looking at? Wait, am I looking at October 1st?
Sunday
Yeah.
night?
No, it's a 1:00 game.
It's a 1:00 game.
Yeah.
Either, well, still flex it.
They
to
do have
like,
a primetime game coming up though, and it's just as terrible of like a matchup.
Your new team, Bert, the New England Patriots.
Okay, I mean, can't do shit about that, but better than the Broncos. Let's see, who do the Pats have next week?
The Arizona Cardinals.
Oh man, Corey with the Cards.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That may not.
They got the Niners.
I don't know. They got the Niners. See, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but the Cardinals went from I have the Cardinals too. You know, it like based on the matchup, it's not terrible. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The Pats have the Cowboys next week, so that'll be an interesting game for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys need to the Cowboys need to get it together because they went from top of the mountain to slipping off the mountain.
Oh yeah. You up next?
Who's after Corey? I'm next. The Seattle Seahawks, also in my most impressive. Geno Smith, still looking like a top 10 QB. I'm just saying, he had about 300 yards there passing.
Seahawks Giants are the Monday night game next week.
Ooh, sorry, Bird. I might have to keep that.
That's fine.
That's a good matchup. Carl, Minnesota Vikings. Man, I feel bad for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, it's not his fault. That team is cursed, man. That team is cursed.
He's too good for them, is what it comes down to. He
is too good for them.
He's put in his time. He's shown them how reliable he is. He's gotten them places, but
Mike with the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe they play Washington this week.
Did they start the divisional? Yeah, they do. They have the Commanders.
And Ty, the Carolina Panthers.
They have the Vikings.
Oh, so
Ty
and Carl head to head, maybe if they decide to keep it. Yeah. So we'll see. So yeah, biggest disappointment again. It's easy to pick the Denver Broncos. Yeah. However, I'm not going to pick the Broncos. I am going to pick. I'm looking at the schedule. I was going to do the Cowboys, but we just talked about them. Yeah. It's an easy one. I am going to say. I'm going to say the Raiders.
I was just thinking the same thing, and I don't know what it is. Ty wants to toss his Panthers back. So while we're doing that, I mean, you just want it to work out with the talent they have in Vegas, and particularly with Jimmy G under there. But like, man, it's just not clicking for them. And obviously bad coaching decisions. What is he at?
Baltimore Ravens again, back-to-back weeks. Back-to-back weeks with the Ravens. I'm about to take the helmet out for him, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. But yeah, so yeah, the Ravens, not the Ravens. See, we're talking about the bucket of doom. Raiders, yeah, with Jimmy G, you already have Devontae Adams talking about. Listen, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I'm not.
Adams had a good game though.
I mean, yeah, they're getting him the ball by any means necessary. Which I mean, you kind of have to, but. It's not when I watched the game. Yes, Jimmy G had some throws that where I was like, man, you got to do better than that. But his offensive line isn't good either. Josh Jacobs isn't good either. And so they need to change their offensive identity and do a lot of what Miami does. Miami doesn't have a good offensive line, but they put their receivers in a lot of slant, a lot of flats, and then they They have, and obviously having Tyreek Hill and these guys who can cover a lot of ground fast helps. But obviously, you don't have to copy it exactly. You're not going to, but you can kind of take a little bit of that and say, okay, a bunch of quick throws, stuff that Jimmy G's good at. Jimmy G, all-time efficiency. This year, it's not really happening for him. I don't know, and that to me is even more indicative of there's something wrong with the scheme there. Steve Waldman, what's up, man?
What's up, Steve?
Thanks for clocking in. So I would love to see them make the adjustment to quicker throws, maybe some option play, some play action. You got to, I mean, play action won't work because the running game's not working, but screen passes, things of that nature. Just try to not have Jimmy G kind of just sit there, because that's what Jimmy G's best at, is going through progressions and making the right decision. The problem is he's not having enough time to do it. And so now
it's causing turnovers, right? I mean, look, monster game in the air, 324, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Right. I mean, I'll give you 1, but once you get up to that 3 mark, that's just bad. That's poor decision making. That is Josh Allen week 1 decision making.